Have you ever stopped to think, what really makes a relationship click? Why some connections just flow and others feel like, I don't know, like hard work?
Yeah, it's fundamental, isn't it? This
Yeah.
need we have to connect with others.
Totally. So today we're doing a deep dive into what we're calling the architecture of human connection.
Hmm.
We want to figure out how we become genuinely accessible to people, how we help each other grow, and maybe understand what relationships are truly worth.
Right. And we've got a really interesting mix of sources today.
We do. It's like a tapestry, some ancient wisdom, modern psychology, even thoughts from a famous football coach, and some proverbs too.
From like divine openness all the way to twisty human emotions. Should be fascinating.
Yeah, the goal is to pull out the really key insights, give you a kind of shortcut to understanding how to build better, more real connections. Those aha moments without getting buried in information.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay. So, where do we start? The foundation.
Let's start there with maybe a radical idea. Ultimate accessibility. Think about ancient temples, right? There was often this heavy curtain, a real symbol of separation.
Yeah, keeping people out, basically.
Exactly. But there's this powerful story in some texts about that very curtain being torn, just
Yeah.
ripped right down the middle.
Wow.
And what that symbolized was direct access, no more barriers. It's presented as like the ultimate model for connection, completely open, nothing in the way.
That's a powerful image,
Oh.
total openness. But okay, let's bring that down to earth. Human leaders.
It's usually the opposite, right?
Often, yeah.
I'm thinking of Tony Dungy, the football coach, hugely successful guy. He talks about having this flanks of people around him.
Phalanx, like a shield wall.
Yeah. His assistants, Laura and Jackie, PR people, community relations,
Huh.
the whole team. And not because he disliked people, apparently he loved interacting,
Right.
but the sheer volume, reporters, fans wanting to give him play diagrams, community requests. He said if he met with everyone, he couldn't actually, coach. So those people were necessary filters. They had to be.
Exactly. Which sets up a kind of paradox, doesn't it?
It really does. You have this divine model suggesting true authority, true love can exist with complete accessibility.
Well, human leaders often seem to need those barriers just to function.
Precisely. And maybe the first big insight here is that authentic connection. It might require the courage to be available, even when it feels messy or inefficient.
Even when your instinct is to put up those walls, that phalanx.
Yeah. It makes you ask yourself, doesn't it? How accessible am I really to the people who actually matter?
Do I have barriers up that I don't even realize are hindering things? That's a tough question.
It is.
And it leads nicely into the next piece, which is kindness. We usually think of kindness as just being
Sweet.
right. There's that lovely idea the best medicine for the soul is the sweetness of another human being.
Beautifully put. And absolutely vital. Kindness is crucial.
Feels like the golden rule,
Mhm.
treat others well. Simple.
But maybe not always simple. Here's where it gets a bit more complex. Amanda Pouchot has this great line. Be open to growth. When people stop giving you feedback, start to worry.
Oh, okay, that's different. So kindness isn't just niceness.
Not always.
Oh.
Sometimes genuine care looks like a challenge, like constructive feedback. If that stops, Pouchot suggests it might mean people have either given up on you growing,
Ouch.
or maybe you've made yourself inaccessible to criticism. They don't feel safe giving it anymore.
Wow, okay. That reframes feedback completely. It's not just about being nice, it's about being brave enough to offer the tough stuff and maybe brave enough to hear it too.
Exactly. It takes maturity, doesn't it? To tell the difference between kindness that helps someone grow versus kindness that just lets things slide, enable stagnation.
So, how do you know? When you get feedback, how do you react? Do you shut down, get defensive, or can you actually listen?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And it really hinges on emotional intelligence.
Yeah, perfect timing. Because navigating that feedback, giving it, receiving it, that requires serious emotional smarts. There's this wild story from Robert Greene.
Oh, I think I know the one you mean. The rebellious teenager.
That's it. Suspended for dealing drugs at school. And he's absolutely furious, just burning with this desire for revenge against the principal. Stuck at home, can't run his business.
Right, and the therapist's approach here is just genius. This comes from work by Paul Watzlawick and his colleagues. Instead of trying to talk the kid out of his anger,
Which would never work.
probably not, the therapist tells the mother to say something specific. Tell your son the principal believes only kids who attend class properly can succeed. By keeping him home, the principal basically expects him to fail.
Setting him up.
Exactly. And the advice was, tell him maybe he shouldn't try too hard while he's home. just to prove the principal right.
Classic reverse psychology. Brilliant.
Isn't it? It completely redirected his anger, his rebelliousness. Suddenly, he's working like crazy on his schoolwork.
Not to get good grades, but to stick it to the principal.
Precisely. It shows that true accessibility, real connection, sometimes means working with strong emotions, not fighting them head on, channeling them.
Sometimes the indirect route is the most direct way to help. That's
It
fascinating.
makes you think, right? When people around you have those big feelings, anger, frustration, are you any good at helping them steer that energy somewhere positive?
That's a skill, a real art. And it connects to another idea about value. Miguel de Cervantes said, "That which costs little is less valued."
Yeah. We tend to value things we've worked for.
Right. Applies to stuff, sure, but maybe friendships too. Relationships.
I think so. And Dan John, the fitness coach, has a related bit of wisdom. He says something like, in training, everything works for about 6 weeks.
Huh. I like that. What's the point he's making?
His point is that initial bursts of effort, quick fixes, they don't last, whether it's fitness or, well, anything else. Over time, he says, time will magnify all your deficiencies,
Okay, so no shortcuts.
basically. Yeah. True strength, real change, lasting relationships, they require consistent, sustained effort, not just the easy start.
So tying this back to connection. Valuable relationships, real personal growth, they need that deep investment.
Yeah.
Going beyond the surface level, beyond just the first 6 weeks, so to speak.
Exactly. Quick fixes, surface kindness,
Yeah.
they just don't cut it long term.
It really makes you ask yourself, am I willing to put in the real work for the relationships I say I value? Or do I kind of expect them to be easy, to come cheap?
It's a challenging thought because real value often demands real effort.
Speaking of effort and maybe reducing friction,
Yeah.
there's this metaphor. Tolerance is the oil which takes the friction out of life.
I like that. Oil in an engine, right. It doesn't remove the parts, the gears.
No, it just helps them work together smoothly
Right.
without grinding each other down.
Right. And without that oil, that tolerance, things can get destructive. There's an African proverb that captures this powerfully.
Which one is that?
When two elephants fight, it is the grass that gets hurt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The collateral damage.
Exactly. When relationships lack that, lubricating tolerance, that patience with differences, it's often the innocent bystanders, the grass, who suffer. People caught in the middle.
I've definitely seen that happen. Probably been the elephant a few times myself, if I'm honest. It highlights the friction we create, sometimes without even realizing it.
It does. So tolerance here means being patient, allowing different views, different personalities to interact without causing damage, creating smooth interaction, even with differences.
So the question becomes, do I practice that kind of tolerance, the kind that reduces the grinding friction, but still lets me hold on to my own principles?
It's a tricky balance, isn't it?
It really is. And sometimes growth itself isn't smooth at all. It feels uncomfortable, which reminds me of that quote from Leo Romana, "I'd rather be homesick than home."
That sounds so backward at first glance.
Right. Why would you want to be homesick?
But if you unpack it,
Mm.
maybe it means true growth, the really meaningful stuff, making new friends, having adventures, finding strength you didn't know you had. Maybe that requires stepping out of what's comfortable.
Stepping away from home, literally or metaphorically.
Yeah, and accepting that feeling of being a bit lost, a bit uncomfortable as part of the process. Like that teenager we talked about, he had to feel that frustration, that redirected anger to actually achieve something.
The discomfort was the catalyst.
Exactly. So maybe real authenticity, real growth demands a willingness to be changed by our encounters, even if it feels awkward or difficult temporarily. You can't stay completely safe and be completely open to growth at the same time.
Okay, so let's try and weave all this together. We've talked about accessibility, kindness versus challenge, emotional intelligence, investing effort, tolerance, and embracing discomfort.
Quite a journey.
It seems like authentic connection isn't just one thing. It's this complex blend. It's kindness with challenge. It's emotional smarts with boundaries. Deep investment with tolerance. Openness with wisdom.
That sums it up well. It's dynamic. It reminds me of another thought. Life is interesting only to interesting people.
How does that connect?
Well, to be interesting, to live that interesting life, maybe we need to be accessible to experiences that push us, that change us. The best connections, the most meaningful ones, they require us to be changed by the encounter.
So connection isn't a fortress to hide in.
No, it's more like a bridge, something that takes you somewhere new, facilitates those transformative moments.
Okay. So for everyone listening, maybe some questions to reflect on. based on all this.
Good idea.
Like, are you the friend people feel they can actually come to?
Mm.
Are you truly accessible?
And when someone offers you advice, maybe tough advice, how do you react? Open heart or defenses up?
Do you put in the consistent effort for your friendships, even when it's inconvenient?
Are you patient with people different from you? Do you try to reduce that friction?
And when things get uncomfortable, new challenges, learning something hard, do you stick with it? Allow yourself to grow through that discomfort.
Those are great questions to sit with.
And maybe the biggest takeaway from all this is, well, the best friendships seem to happen when people actually care enough to keep growing together.
Yeah. Being patient with mistakes, celebrating the wins.
And being brave enough to have the honest conversations, even the difficult ones.
Absolutely. And just like that torn curtain symbolized a radical openness, maybe we can choose to be that kind of person for others, someone who makes it easier for them to feel close, feel seen.
That kindness, patience, listening, helping, being willing to grow, those are like gifts, aren't they?
They really are. Gifts that make others' lives better, and in giving them, you find your own life gets richer too. It's reciprocal.
So let's end what we touched on earlier, that core truth. The best medicine for the soul is the sweetness of another human being. Always be kind and treat others as you would like to be treated.
A perfect thought to close on.